Bitcoin, it's been on a tear this year. It's pushing above 21,000. It's flirting with its longest winning streak in nearly a decade. We're talking 13 or 14 straight days of gains here, Romaine. It's up about 1% right now for 2022, or 2023 rather. I know we're only 17 days in. It's up almost 29%.
Yeah, and it doesn't really seem to be any real catalyst other than maybe, I guess, people are looking at the correlations with the Fed, obviously, and sort of the general idea of sort of what that means for economic conditions. And if the Fed is out of the way, then maybe you have a sense here that there is some safety, if you will, relative safety, if you will, in some of the riskier assets, the speculative assets.
Yeah, and I mean, if stocks...
Because nobody's making a use case for this again, are they?
No, I have yet to give it another 20,000 or so, and then people will talk about that again. I haven't heard that, though, but what I have heard is, again, this is a macro asset. If people are pricing in, rather, the fact that the Fed maybe is going to pivot here, you would expect Bitcoin to sort of be a leveraged bet on that. But what's interesting, if you look at the technicals, and Bitcoin really has not much else to trade on, if you look at the 14-day RSI, it's the most oversold since the start of 2021. It's at a 90 right now. If you get above a 70, you're oversold. So it's quite oversold at this point.
Okay, overbought?
Overbought.
Overbought.
Exactly
Okay, yeah, you were confusing
It's difficult because if you look on the terminal, it's red.
You have to flip the terminal upside down.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm working on that one.
There you go. All right, I think we have Hannah Miller on the phone, very own here, Bloomberg news reporter, has been covering all this, joining us. There's Hannah. Hannah, I mean, this is a technical story. Is it a macro story? I mean, what's behind this?
Yeah, so I think macro investors are starting to feel more comfortable investing in Bitcoin again. I mean, this streak has been pretty impressive, and it's welcome news for the industry. The fact that Bitcoin is above $21,000 right now, crypto investors are feeling good about things.
How sustainable is this, though? Because, again, you stack this up, and this is sort of the tension here, that the headlines about what's actually going on in the crypto industry, some of the companies in the space, it doesn't seem like the needle has moved much in terms of good news on that front. Hannah, what is the sort of the latest in terms of the sentiment in the crypto industry?
Well, we have seen things quiet down since FTX filed for bankruptcy, and obviously there's more developments to come with that. So, you know, that could always shake things up and bring more volatility to crypto prices. But right now, I think investors are feeling good about 2023 and are hoping that Bitcoin bottomed and that we're only going to go up from here.
I am curious. We were talking a little bit earlier, Hannah, about a story that Joanna Ossinger wrote with the discussion with Brett Harrison and this idea that Anthony Scaramucci is now investing in a company set up by Brett, and the idea that there are a lot of, I guess, larger players in this space that maybe moved to the sidelines or at least weren't as vocal and active in 2022 that do appear to be kind of dipping their toe back in the water.
Yeah, well, I think there's this kind of theme here that crypto is an industry for second chances. You know, Brett Harrison, he was the president of FTX US, stepped down way before FTX filed for bankruptcy. He's coming back in. And then we've also seen the founders of 3 Arrows Capital, which was a crypto hedge fund that collapsed last year. They've come back in with a new venture. They're trying to raise $25 million for a crypto exchange that right now is called GTX.
We should point out, too, that Roswell, of course, the crocodile of Wall Street, also has a new job. So I think the risk sentiment is certainly shifting in this space. If she can get rehired again, then
I know. Then truly, I don't know. Down is up, up is down.
Have we asked her to come on the air?
We should. We should. Let's write that down. But I want to talk about the 3 Arrows guys. The fact that they do have this new venture, Hannah. I mean, what has the reaction been? It feels like when I go on Twitter, every time one of them tweets, Suzu or Kyle Davies, that it's a pretty tough reception.
Yeah, crypto Twitter is not too happy. I think we have to remember here that there's still a lot of pain in the industry, that there isn't closure yet from the collapse of 3 Arrows Capital. You know, there are still creditors who are owed money. So the fact that these guys have the audacity to come out there, push forward a new venture, I think that has set some people on edge.
So when we get to this idea, Hannah, of I guess, how the FTX shakes out, whatever regulation, if at all, Congress does anything. But then, of course, we know there are a couple of key court cases as well. They're going to sort of, I guess, be pretty instrumental in maybe potentially determining whether crypto is, you know, a currency or a commodity or whatever it is here. Put that together for us and give us a sense here of maybe what folks are sort of anticipating in the next few months.
Yeah, I think folks are definitely anticipating more regulation. And, there could be more clarity for the industry and how DeFi is going to be regulated, how centralized exchanges are going to be looked at by the SEC. There are still so many questions here that many in the industry are waiting for answers for. So I think this year we are going to see a push towards regulation. We've already heard rumblings from SEC Chair Gary Gensler. So I think it'll be really exciting in terms of what's next in terms of how crypto is going to be regulated.
What about some of the VCs that you speak to, some of your sources on that side? Are they waiting for regulation, or are they maybe looking at depressed valuations and seeing some opportunity here?
Yeah, so I think a lot of VCs I speak to are still very bullish on the industry. They're excited about decentralized finance in particular. I think they are looking for more clarity here. They want answers. They want to know how they should invest in their companies and how the regulatory landscape is going to impact their investing strategy. So I think they're actually looking forward to what regulators are going to say about how they're going to manage crypto.